Yeah, well, after a while of producing, we suddenly had like an album together, and we wondered what the hell to do with it, and we put it out to a couple of the major record labels, and obviously it was totally not their format, not something that radio stations would play, not something that had actually ever been done before in South Africa. I think it was the first breakbeat and drum and bass album back in about 99, 2000. And so we just decided to put it out ourselves, and that was the beginning of African Dope Records. That was the first Crushed and Sorted album, Acid Made Me Do It. I think we actually released about 13 CDs since then. We started looking around for other artists to release. The first people that came along were this really cool hip-hop funk band called Mood Phase 5.
Mood Phase come to bless, yes, shock it down.
We've since disbanded. And then we met this young producer from Durban called Felix Leband, who makes he's actually a punk, which is quite funny, but he makes really good ambient, down-tempo beats. And then along the way we met this crazy rapper called Waddy Jones.
Waddy the Jones is by leaf for the liver. Stop looking at me funny, look at yourself.
Did some work with him, an album called The Constructors Corporation, which came out as a 188-page book with story and animations and shit. What other albums have we put out? The Real Estate Agents. Actually, one of the earliest guys that we found was this guy called Warwick Sony from the Kalahari Surfers.
Yeah. These are my police, these are my police, these are my fire.
Who were probably the first people to play around with tape loops and early technology like that back in the 80s. You know, I was in school when I first heard the first Kalahari Surfers album, and he was banned by the South African government because their label, Shifty Records, they worked with a lot of black artists, Sankamoto, and also the revolutionary Afrikaans guys, the Benoldus Niemand and Johannes Kerkorrel, and all these old school rebellious Afrikaners who are very outspoken politically. So he got banned for his efforts and wasn't allowed to release music. And when we found him, he hadn't put out an album for 10 years, but was still making amazing stuff. He also does sound on set. So he'd been all over Africa recording Himba and San and all these amazing tribes, which he incorporated into his music. Yeah, that's the Kalahari Surfers. I mean, we release everything from quite crazy jungle. And obviously very bass orientated, more breakbeats and broken beats orientated than anything 4/4. Lots of dub, jazz, funk, African sounds thrown into the mix. It's basically a melting pot of what's happening in Cape Town, which is a very diverse and eclectic music scene.
Africa. Yeah. This is Tiaba, the original social worker.
Down-tempo, African-influenced stuff. Hello, kitty cat. Can you see the kitty cat? And everything between. It's basically, it's the headspace of the music, you know. It's like, I suppose it's stuff to smoke a spliff and kick back to. Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, music has always broken down these cultural barriers. Like, music is music, and musicians are musicians. I think it's been a feature in South African history that music has always transcended cultural barriers, despite what the prevailing government has to say. So I think it's just a continuation on that theme. But I do like a lot of the black music, especially the reggae scene in Gugulethu is something that's always attracted me. And also the integration of traditional sand music with electronica. There's some amazing stuff to happen there. I'm quite interested in multimedia. Has always tickled me, and I've always kind of relied on other people to do the video work. So I've just kind of had to knuckle down and teach myself how to edit and all the technical stuff of video, because I think I mean the future, like electronic music, can go in a number of directions, and the two most obvious directions to me are beyond stereo, obviously, into surround sound, and into music and video together. And this is a direction that I'm really interested in pursuing. Obviously, I'm starting out very lo-fi, taking whatever samples I can find, often off YouTube, off homemade videos, off all sorts of sources. Chopping up a vid of Beardy Man, and which is him beatboxing in the kitchen in a wig, and making a track out of it. So at the moment, I've just got just a very basic beat laid in, which gives me a tempo, which I can edit to, and I'm cutting up the audio and the video on top of that, and then I'll render it out, take that into Ableton Live, and build a track around it, because then I've got a tempo to work to. So at the moment, I'm in Vegas. And then, from there I'll go into live.
One of the most effective breaks of all, the electro funk daddy superstar break.
But for me, it's a new form of entertainment. Trying to combine dance music with humor,
and then of course,
with a lot of quite hard-hitting political insights. This is some Bush speech which somebody chopped up, which I've rehacked and made a track out of.
Fellow citizens. Every year, by law and by custom, we meet here to threaten the world. The American flag stands for corporate scandals, recession, stock market declines, blackmail, terror, burning with hot irons, dripping acid on the skin, mutilation with electric drills, cutting out tongues, and rape.
Political insights. It's the only way for me to do it is actually with music and video together. Yeah, my set's a weird combo of politics and humor. Cape Town's like not really, it's kind of, we're sitting out here on the edge of Africa, and it's more European and globally influenced than African influence. So it's a melting pot of all sorts of different African cultures, but also global culture. A lot of foreigners live here, so there's these, it draws its influences from around the planet as opposed to the immediate environment, and that accounts for a lot of different flavors in the city. I mean, the area we're staying in here looks like the Middle East, you know. It's mosques and palm trees, and it's a Muslim area in the middle of the city, and there's all these different cultural identities in the city, which I think it's nothing overt. It's not that you think about, hey, there's this and this and that. It's more, these are just the subtle influences that are around you all the time, so they get absorbed into the music.